Here we go. I got a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm going to try and make it as so here's what I want to accomplish today is give you the tool to start making a plan. Okay? So I put this together based on, I'm going to be honest, just based on my own experience. And I'll be honest, I interact with a lot of you guys, and I would say the number one question is like, well, I just don't know where to begin. Like, how do I get started? Where do I start? Right? Um, I think the number one thing that I encourage everybody to do, what's the number one item on our game plan? Somebody say it.
Participate.
There you go. Like, it's just that easy. Like, the fact that we're all here is step number one. Like, we're actually like participating. And I think that that's where I always wanted to encourage everybody. Participation, what does that include? That includes like showing up to these meetings. That includes like showing up to your follow-up in your pipeline, jumping into your CRM, sending out social media posts, creating items of value, setting a plan like we are today for the next quarter into January. So today is really about giving you the tools. I'll help explain it and why it's put together, but then take time on your own to actually fill it out, fill it in, and create the business that you want. You could either spend this quarter planning for next year, or I would actually spend the next couple days planning for this quarter to have business next year. If you start planning in the next couple days and you start executing this plan over this next quarter, which is what we're going to do, you should have closings in less than the next 90 days. You should definitely have a pipeline of business for January. Number two is connect, and that's connect with your sphere of influence and don't be that secret agent. That's kind of the biggest struggle, that I hear from people is, oh, I have people. Well, great. Who are they? They're this person, they're this person. What do you have them on? What are you doing to connect or send value? Well, nothing. I don't know what to do. Well, we have to do something. If we have people, we have to stay connected. I'll say this. I went 8 months, went to a listing presentation, never followed up with them for 8 months. And I knew that I was going to get in the MLS and find their house for sale, right? And I just happened to drive by and they're painting it still. And I called them as I drove by. I was like, hey guys, they're like, oh my gosh, we were about ready to call you. I swear to God, thought I was going to lose it. My point being, don't let it be 8 months before you connect with the people that you know are buying and selling. Start tapping new lead sources. Today is kind of one of those. On Thursdays, we're going to start sharing leads. I'll give you leads every week if you'll just be willing to work them. If you close 3% of them, you'll get 3 out of 100. 3 out of 100 is worth 30 to 90 grand in commission. Like, it's that easy for us to make money. So from 3 deals, we can almost make 6 figures. And that's what I want to encourage all of us to do is at least start collecting and connecting with those leads. Last thing, number four, convert. That includes showing up daily. I get into my CRM every day, but that's because it's sending out automated text and emails every single day. And unavoidably, I've got 30,000 leads in my account. Unavoidably, I have people saying, hey, can I go see this property? Hey, can I go see this property? That's the same thing that should be true for you guys. If you start having a larger database, hundreds of leads, you should have people coming back through and popping through along the way. So that's what we're going to start spending Thursdays on, is actually getting in, doing the follow-ups, making the phone calls. I'll show you what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And you'll find out that it really is easier than you expect. Step number five, set the appointment. Ask everyone that you interact with. I kind of wrote this down as I help people buy, sell, lease, or invest in real estate. How can I help you? It's pretty simple, right? You can buy, sell, lease, or invest in real estate. How can I help you? Setting the appointment is the most important thing that I do. When I started prospecting and I started having these warm and fuzzy conversations, but no closings and no appointments, I realized I'm just not asking for the date. I want to go out with you. Let's meet. I want to go out with you. Let's meet. You have to ask for the appointment and know what it is that you're helping them with. Step number 6 is evaluate your performance. Reduce the wasted time, repeat the dollar generating activities. And the more you do that, the more money you'll make. I was guilty of it. The reason I put this on here, I was the guy that had the really nice buyer's presentation, but had no buyers, right? Instead of us spending all of this energy and effort into something that doesn't make us money, I'd rather encourage us to get the appointment. Once you go on the appointment, you'll identify what the items that you need. So let's find the appointments. Let's evaluate the actual activities that produce. And if it isn't helping you produce, get it out and start just being more productive with your time. Last thing is once we go through each of these steps, we should end up at that closing table. I know personally for me, that's my favorite part. And I was also kind of like, you know, and I'm kind of using this as like a general term. I know somebody that just got fired from their job, and I literally asked myself, I was like, ugh, like that's got to be tough getting fired from a job. Like as an adult, it's got to be tough to get fired from a job, right? And then I literally thought about it. And I was like, every time I close a deal, I literally basically just got fired from a job. Like I now have to find a new job. And the longer it takes me to find a job, which is another closing, is me being unemployed. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, actually, that's probably just as scary as losing a job. Like every time I close the deal, if I'm not continuing to prospect and knowing that I have something behind it, I end up like really hungry, really nervous, and really like driving to find something more. So that's kind of what I want Thursdays to be about. I'll share my story in regard to, I made $6,200 in real estate in 2013. So that was $6,200 in 2013 in real estate. So I was broke. I worked my ass off and I closed 14 deals in 2014, and I was still fucking broke. I made $36,000, but that's because I was closing deals in Pueblo, right? I shifted again, moved my business to Denver and started to work Denver, and I doubled my business again, doubled my income, and started to double and triple my income every year after that. But that's because I started getting in the habits of actually tracking my business, knowing where my leads were at, knowing where they were coming from, working and converting. So that's what I want Thursdays to be is replicating that same system, right? I treat it as a responsibility and an obligation. I just don't like hope this works. I actually work. I show up to my business. Here's the planner as far as it goes for an actual like working tool. The quarterly planner. Here's where I wrote it just kind of loud and proud. Helping people buy, sell, lease, and invest in real estate is what I do. How can I help you? Keep it that simple, right? Set a goal. How many new buyers do you want? How many new sellers do you want? And how many new investors do you want? Me personally, I don't chase investors. I have some that I work with, but I do not chase them. They're not my target. Sellers, I definitely chase sellers. How many new sellers do I want? I would absolutely set the goal. I'd also set a goal for how many closings and what do I want to actually make from these. All of these things, if we don't know how to calculate our earnings, let's sit down and we can do an actual like income session. But I would start looking at how many people you want to acquire. What do they call that? Manifest destiny, where you're like, it's already here. I believe I've got it. Let's start using this tool as that same thing. Step number one, participation. Get your head in the game and find your why. If you don't know why you're waking up and showing up to your business, you got to start there. I got divorced in 2012, 2013, and that's why I turned this on, is because I had to work and prospect while I had two little kiddos hanging out with me every day, and I Mr. Mommed it. And it wasn't an option for me to go to work, but this was an option for me to work. And so that was the biggest difference for me. I also tell you, I prospected with kids in the background, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, is that a baby?" And I'd be like, "I'm a single dad." Yes. Right. So I leveraged being a real person, and I met real people that really give me referrals now. So I grew a business on being just a real fucking person. So get involved, participate, find ways to learn, find ways to lead gen, participate and follow up, and participate in the industry. Get involved in setting appointments, get involved in tools and tech training, peer networking, office amenities, and industry events. This is a place for you to start making a list of what you want to get involved in over the next quarter. I want to start getting involved in investor classes. I want to start getting involved in foreclosures. The more you're involved in it, the more you can teach, train, and coach it. So if you're interested in sharing it, how to do it with somebody else, go learn from somebody else doing it. That'd be my recommendation. Next step number 2, jumping into connecting. Actually put down the name, email, and phone number of the individuals. All of these individuals that you have name, email, phone number for, past clients, neighbors, friends, roommates. These are all the names, emails, and phone numbers that should be in this contract tab. These are the people that we believe that we can get work from. Some of us don't have it in a digital form. If you have it in a CSV file, we can upload it into here easily. We can add them one by one, but at least start by making a list of the people that you believe you have business with. If you start with a list there, you at least have somebody to start connecting with. If you have previous clients, that's the best place to start. We should be connecting with them monthly. Connecting, I think, is the most important thing, and I'm going to go back to it every time, just going back to Chime. But this is what I would say is like the lifeline of my business. If I check into my actual transactions tab, and I have nobody in here, it's really easy for me to know I have no business. If I open my people's tab, I can see that there's 36,163 opportunities to move somebody in here. All it takes is the time just to go through and work it, right? I won't inundate you and give you 1,000 leads, but I'll give you enough that'll keep you working. And if you dedicated 1 hour a day to dedicated prospecting, you can usually make 25 to 50 calls in an hour. And as soon as you do, you're usually done. You can usually set one appointment, usually from each session. And that's what I would encourage. Step number 3, and that's really just identifying your top 5 lead sources. I'd like OpCity. If you're not on OpCity, it's a great tool to have. It's an app on your phone. I had somebody close $6 million in 2 years. So that's about 3 million in business each year from OpCity. But she'd wake up every morning and she'd open OpCity, and and if for some reason, I think it recognized that she was in there, and she'd add her little notes and make them feel happy about it. Those leads come to us as live phone transfers. That's somebody on the phone ready to go set an appointment, go see a property, and actually meet with an agent. Definitely take advantage of those. If OpCity's not on your plan, I would do that. I would also take advantage of lead pool access. Start showing up on Thursdays, and we'll start giving you more leads. If you want to be added to the pool as far as getting them instantly or having me send you some of the older ones, both of those are available. If you don't have any other lead sources, that's kind of where I have this planner on here. If you go and copy and paste this actual URL or type it in, it'll have an actual lead gen planner. Inside the planner, it also includes 107 ideas of how to generate leads. So if you don't have leads or you don't have a lead gen plan, I would recommend starting here. If you don't know how you're going to get work, it's really hard to work. And for me, it was a quantity sport. I knew that if I had this much to work, I would never be hungry. I don't have to worry about work, right? But I also have the techniques now to pick up a phone book if I was so desperate and didn't have leads. So I believe I could get work anywhere. Start identifying those actual lead sources and then start plugging into them. Step 4 was the converting daily and daily follow-up tasks. I would say dedicate 1 hour to your CRM, even if it was 10 to 11 in the morning, even if it was 8 to 9 in the morning, even if it was 8 to 9 at night. It might be a little late for contacts, but if it's your time, might as well make it happen. If it's your lunch break for 30 minutes, dedicate time in your CRM at least to follow up to the texts that you get, at least to follow up with your emails. And then I would definitely write down what days you plan on attending what. Thursdays, I'm going to be on our prospecting calls. Tuesdays, I'm going to be on our tips and tricks. Saturdays, I'm going to be at an open house. What is it that you plan on dedicating your time to follow up, and what days are you actually going to get in that CRM is really the point of this. 5th step is the appointment set. Ask everyone that you can help. Visit the marketplace. I showed it to you a little bit earlier. Inside that marketplace, you can get your buyers and sellers guides. These are in a template form. So once you click on it, it'll take you right to Canva. You can add your name, your contact info. You can change the graphics. You can change whatever you want. You can make it completely your own. So I would encourage you to start putting together what are those items of value that you can share. We provide landing pages to where you can actually share on social media. Hey, I wasn't sure if anybody wanted to get my buyer's guide. Here it is, and you can share it. Once you share it, they register with you. They get added to your database. Hey, you took my buyer's guide. How's it going? Can we meet? Another way to set appointments. So these become the hooks and tools for you to find new appointments, is people who actually take advantage of the content that you have. If you don't have items of value, you can't share anything of value. There's nothing for them to take or nothing for them to sign up for. Take the templates that we have and go and kind of create your own. Remember, we help people buy, sell, lease, and invest in real estate. That's what I do. Hey, how can I help you? I say this: host and promote consultations and seminars. If you post on your social media, hey, oh my gosh, guys, create an Eventbrite. They're completely free. Hey, here's my Eventbrite. Sign up. I'm doing a first-time home buyers class. Love to help. I'm doing go from renting to buying. I'd love to help. I'm doing selling in this market. I'd love to help. I'm doing foreclosure. I'd love to help. I'm doing an investor class, love to help. If you promote that event and you offer to host it, even if one person signs up, call the one person and say, hey, I'd love to do it at your home. Can I come to your house? 100% of the time, they're always like, oh, you would do that for me? Yes, I would, because you're the only one, right? So don't be afraid if nobody signs up, because somebody will eventually. And even if one person signs up, you could still have the event, but have it at their house. Great ways to set appointments is having those items of value. But if you haven't thought about how you can present it or what you're going to share with them, this is where you want to start taking that time to actually identify who it is you're targeting. What's my source? Am I targeting sellers? Am I targeting buyers? How am I collecting these leads? And what can I give them of value? Here's number 6 would be evaluating performance. Review the last 90 days. Ask yourself, what did I do? What client did I get? And where did it come from? If you're generating referrals, that's great. Keep generating referrals, but ask yourself, was it something else? Was it online platform? Was it ISA that I used? Was it me buying Zillow leads? What was it that generated you the work? Not only what generated you the work, if you identify that nothing generated the work for you, that's what this is for. Start participating, start connecting with the people, right? Start going into the office, start following up each day, start connecting in your CRM. All of this starts all over if we have nothing over the last 90 days. A lot of these questions are just self-reflection. What's holding me back or what's driving me forward? Here's another one. What has to change to see something different? If we want something different in our lives or in our business, we really do have to identify what has to change. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's usually just our behavior. We always end up waking up today without a plan. And I'm a big believer in planning today, planning tomorrow today. So if I don't have a plan for tomorrow, that's usually what I'll spend my day doing. Usually I'll wake up with a plan, and then that day I'll execute my plan and set a new plan for the next day. So a lot of us don't plan tomorrow. We wake up into tomorrow with nothing to do, and we also don't know where to go. Last little final step with this is kind of printing off your own calendar. If you're a person that likes to print it off, write down and start giving yourself objectives. When am I going to be participating, right? When am I doing my lead gen? I'm going to do my follow-ups on Thursday. I'm going to join those classes. My appointments are going to be when can I sign up for open houses? All of these should be encouraging you to participate in actual real estate. I know for a fact that when we're not participating, our business is completely dwindling, and what deals that we had, the listing appointment that I waited 8 months to follow up with, potentially end up going away to where we have to start all over each time. And I hope that this becomes the tool that at least gives you the reflection of okay, let's just start at the beginning. What am I going to participate in? What do I want to get involved in? Great. Actually, I do have some people I should connect with. I should add them to my CRM and at least connect with them weekly, monthly, every 2 weeks, right? As far as it goes, what days am I actually going to be working in my CRM? It should be every day. And I say at least 30 minutes to an hour. I promise I got into mine yesterday and it was only 20 minutes. I didn't have that much to do. So it doesn't require a heavy amount of time, but it does require attention. Creating lead gen plans and then creating your actual appointment items of value. I think once you have all of these elements, you should be solid. You should be set, ready to go. This should be action oriented. This is not just dreaming. This is actually like creating plans and executing them. Like I said, this quarter could be a quarter either planning for next year, or this next couple days could be you planning for this quarter.